Welcome back everybody. Today we'll be looking at the article over at Entertainment Weekly focusing on Luke and Leia. Will we get a reunion scene between the Skywalker twins? Let's have a look at what Mark Hamill says about his character. Luke longs to have that extended family that he established in the original trilogies, but now he's at a place in his life and in his history where he's shunned all of that, Mark Hamill says. The big question is, why didn't he respond to Leia during The Force Awakens? There's a lot of things you can't answer until you see this movie. So yeah, that's a pretty legit question, right? Why didn't Luke help his sister? Surely he felt her reach out to him and sensed that the Resistance needed him now more than ever. My interpretation would of course be that I don't think Luke feels like he could look Leia in the eyes, all things considering. She sent him her son for him to guide and help figure out the whole Force thing, and even though Leia is Force sensitive, she's not a Jedi and didn't receive the training Luke did. So her brother is supposed to be the expert in that department, and it all went horribly wrong. Ben Solo ended up becoming the very opposite of what they'd hoped he'd become. Luke would of course feel guilty about how it all turned out. It would be soul crushing for him. He's probably been doing a lot of soul searching and asking himself where he went wrong. Is it the Skywalker lineage itself that's prone to fall into the dark side? Or is it the Jedi teachings that are at fault? Maybe both played a part in Kylo Ren's corruption at the hands of Snoke. So after losing her son, Han, and basically her brother as well, Leia seems to have also been demoted. In this movie, she finds herself no longer leading the Resistance, with power shifting to Laura Dern's Vice Admiral Holdo, who has been an ally of Leia's since they were girls in the early days of the rebellion. Oscar Isaac says Leia is also positioning his X-Wing fighter pilot Poe Dameron for a role as a decision maker beyond the front lines of battle. So this is probably why there seems to be tension between Leia and Poe in this scene here. Poe wants to be out there in the thick of it, and Leia needs him to take up the role of a leader and use his head. So does Poe disobey her orders, because he sure does seem to be finding his opportunities to risk his life as far as we can gather? And is Leia being pushed aside by Holdo because she has basically forced the remnants of the New Republic's hand? They're in a war with the First Order now, even if they were initially hesitant. Maybe they feel Leia and her Resistance somehow provoked Snoke into striking first, and that's why she's being pushed aside to a secondary role. So we see where we'll basically find Luke and Leia when we re-enter the saga with The Last Jedi. So if Luke has been hesitant to answer Leia's call for help up until now at least, will Rey's arrival change that perhaps? So let's take a look and see where they might be heading with this. In The Last Jedi, one reason Luke Skywalker rejects Daisy Ridley's Rey when she finally locates him on the Porg-infested island of Ahch-to is because he feels he has lost his own sense of direction. How could he provide guidance to another? This is a Luke far, far away from the collected and confident hero we saw in Return of the Jedi. Decades later, he's a man broken by disappointment who believes his decisions only led to death and suffering. He doesn't think he can help Rey. He needs some guidance himself. He's not the happy-go-lucky farm boy anymore, Hamill says. He's sort of bellicose and has the weight of the world on his shoulders. So there's more to be read there, and I'll leave a link down below to the article. But basically, it's leaving the question of whether or not Luke and Leia reunite open, in my opinion. And that kind of has me a little bit worried that the reunion doesn't happen, and what a wasted opportunity if that's the case, but I'm still hopeful. I think Luke leaves Ahch-to to go and save Rey from Snoke. I think Rey helps him finally bite the bullet and rejoin the events that are taking place. The final act is supposed to take place on Crate, so Luke will have to survive his encounter with Snoke, which could go either way, and then they would have to escape Snoke's ship and land on Crate, where we might get a brief reunion before Leia dies, and the movie ends with everybody having a sad face leaving the theater. But it could go entirely different, who knows? What do you guys think? Does Luke's reasoning for not answering Leia's cry for help make sense? And will the Skywalker twins reunite? Leave your thoughts down below. To stay updated with this channel, hit that notification bell. Thanks for dropping by and for your continued support. Don't forget to like, share, sub, and all that good stuff. And until next time, see yas.